self-healing in order to get what it is that you want. So you're stepping out of your space of insecurity. Again, like I said, for many of you, it could be the lack of impatience in terms of what you guys are creating together. And hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoat Secrets. Hi, as a reminder, I am Kristen, and I am a healer. In this video, you are going to get a full rundown of love for you, Capricorn placements, for the month of March. And I start with an astrology rundown, and then I finish with a card reading. If at any point you feel like this video resonates with you and you would like to dive deeper on your own personal journey, you can join the Healing Circle. That link can be found here and also in the bio to work with me and become a personal client. And as per usual, you guys know I'm a global citizen and I like to connect with all of you on a worldly and global level. So drop where you're listening from in the comments. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. Okay, so Capricorn, love for you when it comes to March is quite extensive. There's a big shift that's happening karmically. So whether you are in a partnership, single, or in a new connection, first, partnership is in like a long-term partnership versus in a new partnership versus single. There is a big shift happening, and that shift is a karmic release. So if you have been going through karmic cycles with your partner, you guys are coming to a full circle dynamic that's going to be taking place this March, and things are going to be ending in a much lighter note. Now, you can lead, for those of you who are partnered, you can lead into April kind of dealing with a little bit of external conflicts, but the conflict between you guys will find itself a lot more lifted. Things will be feeling a lot lighter, and then you guys will kind of leave the month tackling what you need to do on the outside to further extend on what has been healed between the union. If you are single, the karmic cycle that you've been going through is a lot of deep healing. Most of you have been going through when it comes to understanding your love language, your love karma, different things that you've dealt with when it comes to karmic cycles, either in your family dynamics or exes that you've had. Many of you have been healing from the narcissistic paradigm, as I've been discussing with a lot of you, because of the Pluto transit. You were attracting narcissistic dynamics, and this deep healing that you've been in, this redirection and kind of transformation that you've been on, is finally going to see itself with a light at the end of the tunnel this month. As long as you've been on this journey, March will leave you feeling hopeful and clear-minded when it comes to this karma. Now, also, in terms of singlehood, if you've been manifesting from, especially from October of last year, this idea about what it is that you wanted to see in love and the kind of partner that you wanted to have with the 10th house activation, because the eclipse was in your new moon, was in your 10th house, which is Libra. And for you, it was about really looking at the kind of partner that you wanted to have that was more serious, more permanent, the kind of person that adds to your dynamic in the world, your status in the world, but not on a surface level way, but in a way that actually expanded on you. Instead of just, because you guys with Capricorn placements, you guys can often settle in love or put yourself in a situation where you're too caught or too focused on what you think the idea of that person is. And a lot of the time that is because of an idea of status. So these two extremes, which is either dating someone or being with someone that's completely dragging you down for the love sake of it, because you guys love so deeply and you want this raw, authentic feeling, but oftentimes you can take that raw, authentic feeling with the wrong individual, or it's because you were looking for what you thought made sense based on whatever plan you had or whatever viewpoint of status that you had, and you found yourself connected to the wrong individuals that could not give to you the way in which you were giving to them. all in all, this dynamic coming full circle is seeing through a new beginning. And pretty much this karmic cycle comes to a close where, and again, it started in October when it comes to manifesting what it is that you truly desired, how it is that you wanted this person to look and seem, and you didn't want it to be something that compromised who it is that who you are in the world, and you also didn't want it to be something that couldn't fulfill you on the inside. So slowly but surely, you've been kind of creating this idea and therefore manifesting a partner that would actually match your energy, and that has been put out into the universe. But it could have come with a lot of hollowness. A lot of healing is never pretty, and trying to change your love language or change your love karma is not an easy thing to do. So the same way how people who have been partnered, going through ups and downs and a lot of conflicts with each other, the same way, and having to renew and change and grow and close out karmic cycles that have been going on for a very long time, is the same way how you guys as singles have been having to go through that as individuals by yourself. And it's definitely a hard road when you're standing on your own, having to transition emotionally and psychologically in these ways, and having to come to terms with a lot of relationship trauma or narcissistic abuse trauma, infidelity, and different things that you guys have faced in the past during this Pluto transit karma when it comes to love. And now for you guys who are in new partnerships, a lot of you could have kind of been going through a little bit of back and forth in terms of wanting to connect with this person. You're kind of keeping your distance. You don't really know if you should give yourself entirely. You've kind of been dancing around them a little bit, fear of letting go entirely, or could be outside circumstances that were stopping you guys from reaching higher heights with each other, major trust issues going on, instability and fear, and these things navigating the dynamic in a way that was causing disruptions, even if the person felt like the dynamic made sense and it was more along the lines of what it is that you truly wanted. It's been blossoming very slowly, and that slowness has come from kind of viewpoints, again, of unhealed trauma, baggage, etc. As you're still going through the healing process, it's difficult to try to integrate a proper partner when you're still unsure about your own full circleness in that sense. So that's kind of been what's been playing out. I would say that those are the February reflections. Now let's go into things week by week. So in week one, we're looking at a lot of lucky breaks when it comes to love. We're already in week one of March. Things are kind of dealing with a little bit of back and forth. So we've got this kind of lighthearted energy. Well, are we in week one? It's kind of, sort of, yeah, because it's based on the day that it is, right? So this is week one that we are in right now. And so throughout this week, you're going to see a lot of interesting dynamics play out when it comes to love. Some of you could be, especially if you're single, some of you can randomly meet someone. If you guys are partnered, or if the case does not come in another person, there is a lot of lightheartedness energy that's going to be finding you during week one. Keep your eyes open, keep your heart open for great change and lucky breaks. There could also be an unexpected expense for those of you who are partnered, but it's not necessarily a bad expense. It's just an expense that could lead you guys forward in some kind of way, something that your partner needs or something that your children may need, but it's something to your benefit. We've got a great sense of like a dreamlike state, and this sense of self-worth that you've been having, because you guys have been really focused on your finances, and that's also a part of your distraction, and you will still be focused on your finances during this first week. But the way in which your finances increase, the way in which your self-worth increases, and this clarity of self comes together in the first week, things are going to be feeling a little bit dreamy. And it's not a bad dreamy, it's more like in a sense of, okay, you're battling back and forth between hope and despair. But now hope is kind of trying to push the clouds away and push the sun through in order to see itself a little bit more vibrant than it was before. So I would say look out for deep conversations when it comes to what it is that you want to see for yourself and the dreamlike state you want to create this week. Serendipity and just things starting to feel a little bit better. Okay, so we go into week two where we're going a little bit deeper in terms of passionate conversations. This is where we can find some conflicts. So your focus is on home and family during week 2. Your brain starts to shift in that direction. So for some of you, it could be directly your home and family as in your children and all these other things. But let's look at this from a greater perspective so everyone can understand it. Home and family focus means whatever it is that home and family means to you. So where you're living, where it is that you are, where your close quarters are, that's your focus. And in terms of love, you're thinking how, again, more deep feelings around how you want your love life to fully integrate with what feels the most comfortable, who feels the most at home with you, what feels the most organic, and what feels the most easy. You don't want to be in a situation that feels like you are unnerved or uncomfortable. You are not willing to compromise the way you used to compromise when it comes to how your love life integrates with your home and family life. So for some of you, this can easily just be ending conflicts between your children and who it is that you're involved with. This can also see drawing a major wedge between your family of origin and the family in which you've created. For those of you who are not dealing with situations like this, you could be beautifying your home and feeling a little bit more romantic in terms of how it is that you want your home and space to be, and then dating as in bringing people closer to your home, seeing how they fit into your comfort zone, sharing more about your home and family and how it is that you want to again build the kind of dynamic or the kind of connection that is really stable. For those of you who are in new unions, you guys can see yourselves getting a little bit more serious around this time as you're starting to integrate fully. But another big thing is we have conflicts going on because of the transits that are taking place that week. So be wary of arguments back and forth around this subject. So some of you can see yourselves butting heads with, again, your family, right? Family of origin, or the family that you created in order to bring about this new beginning. Some of you can see yourselves in conflicts with the neighborhood around you or your neighbors or something along those lines, siblings. Anything that you feel like compromises the life that you want to have for yourself or how it is that you want to live. And when it comes to a partner or potential partner, you're not budging on how it is that you want your comfort zone to be created and the things that make you feel the most at peace with yourself. So just be wary of the fact that the transits are not just affecting you, it's just they affect you in this way. Also communication issues as well, major communication issues, especially if there are language barriers. So this is something that's affecting the entire collective, but in numerous ways. So I would say just kind of try to navigate it the best that you can, and understand that conflict is a part of human nature. And just try not to completely lose your cool, because I would say in you guys' case, because of all that you have been going through, you are the ones that are the most on edge and have the most to say. Internally, you are carrying a lot and you're ready to explode if need be, and you're hell-bent on creating your life the way that you want it to be, especially because you've had to sacrifice and compromise so much. And when it comes to, again, where you're surrounded, so your quarters, it could be neighbors, home and family, siblings, these are the relationships where you felt like you've had to compromise the most, and so you're not doing so anymore, you're not doing so any longer. A person can also find themselves wanting to conflict with you. Keep in mind, this energy is, all the collective, right? So there is a tension in the air, and you can see it come through in these ways. Things are always darkest before dawn, so whatever it is that ends up taking place is going to lead you to where it is that you need to go not long after. Because we're looking at week 3, and as week 3 comes in and the transit happens where we're moving from Pisces into Aries, it's like a breath of fresh air. So it's as if week 2 is kind of the end game when it comes to the winter season, right? Because Pisces ends the winter, and it's the closure of the hibernation energy, right? What it is that you need to change and focus on and work on. All throughout this winter season, you guys have had to grind a lot. You've had to really carve stone to build the new life that you want, because you're ending your karmic cycles. So when we see the Aries transit, and we're looking at the I don't know why it's leaving my head right now. The equinox. We're looking at the spring equinox, which is ultimately the new year, especially for those of us who are astrologers, but most importantly, the new year for you guys as Capricorns, because of the work that you've had to put in up until this point, and then Pluto not leaving your sign until the end of January, this for you is your final new beginning. So as a new beginning finds itself, you're in a space that is a little bit more balanced. And it's, again, it's as if the sun is bursting through the fire energy, right? The way in which fire can burn through all mucky waters or mucky dynamics and bring about new earth, a new beginning. So that's kind of the energy that takes place. So the conflicts that find you during week 2 are the finalizations in order to bring about a new and fresh energy. So if it's going to come out, let it come out. Move into week 3 feeling like what's done is done, and I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm getting closer toward the life that it is that I want for myself. I said what I said, basically, right? So that's what we see in terms of week 3. You're feeling good. My biggest focus with week 3 would be put in the action to begin what it is that you want. You're going to be feeling that momentum, and that energy is going to be moving through you, and it's going to give you the vitality that you need to see through your plans, which are things that you guys have been working on for a very long time. So then we go into week 4, and this is the week of the eclipse. Okay, so when we're talking, you guys know I'm going to be making a bigger video about this, but when we talk about this eclipse, we're talking about great endings. So week 3, so follow with me here, right? We come into the month with an emotional space that is both dark and light, right? The light is starting to kind of transition the dark, and you're starting to feel a little bit more hopeful. We go into week 2 where there is conflict, right? Where there is back and forth because of the life that it is that you want to create for yourself. There's opposition. That opposition brings you into week 3 where you're letting out whatever it is that needs to be let out. In week 2, doing whatever it is that you need to do, facing it. And then we go into week 3 feeling light as a feather, as if a fire came and now the land is barren for you to plant new seeds and begin anew. Karma completed. Then we go into week 4 where it's the end, right? So week 3 is this fresh feeling, and week 4 is the actual endings, the doors closing, and these energy is going to be playing out for the next 6 months, along with the energy of the Pisces new moon that is going to be taking place earlier in the month. So all in all, this dynamic is all about how it is that you're creating your new life and how you're transitioning these energies. During week 2, the Pisces new moon is working in tandem during that time. So with that energy in specific, it's not to say that you want your conflicts just for raw conflict. You guys are in a very compassionate place. You want to see through balance and harmony in these third house matters, which is, like I said, your neighborhood, your siblings, close quarters, where you're living, etc. And this, along with the Aries energy, brings about home and family. So you want to see harmonious relationships or harmonious dynamics play out. But at the end of the day, you're willing to fight for it if you need to, because your self-worth increase. You're not going to compromise. If you want to see whatever new beginning that you want to see, you're willing to fight for it, and you're willing to put in whatever energy you need to put in to see it. And so that's the energy that takes place in that new beginning. Again, that Pisces new moon, that energy transitions on for that 6-month time period. So it's about more creation in terms of this new. And that eclipse is what is ending. So when we look at the 4th week, what relationships are ending, what connections are ending, most importantly, all they are reflections of the ending of a karmic cycle. So many of you are going to be ending the kind of karmic cycles that came to find you from childhood. Dynamics that you saw play out in love with the people around you, your family of origin, like I said, your parents, karma that you've had for years about who you've loved, why you've loved them, what you were attracted to, finally kind of coming to a close. Long-term dynamics playing out with an ex or a type, finally being able to see forth an ending. And with all endings, there are new beginnings. But these great endings are going to make you feel lighter than a feather. They're going to leave you feeling very good, you in specific, mainly because these endings are things that have been wounding you. So as you move through this space, and a lot of you guys are going to be the ones closing the door yourself because of the energy that you have, and you're in the driver's seat in this case, which is good. So as these endings come through and this completion comes at the end of the month, you're finally getting that release that you've been looking for, even just down to a psychological level in terms of if you've been healing from a great relationship and you finally want to release it and you finally want it off of your head, you want it out of your system, being able to put that energy into this transit and finally seeing through that end when it comes to the end of March. And some of it can come with new beginnings, as in new partners, new dynamics, a new way of looking at things, a new energy, something replacing that energy that is more positive, and better for you in terms of leading you into this new karmic cycle, which is Pluto exiting your sign and you no longer being in that karmic dynamic. So yeah, so that is your astrology for the month, and we are going to get into the reading now. Oh, look at that bright light with going beyond normal. Okay, so to begin, I am going to start with your shadow and move into the light, because March is a very pivotal month for you, and it is the beginning in so many ways. The new year for you begins in March, truly, which is the beginning of the astrological calendar. I mentioned this in the personal reading. And also with the personal reading, I went from the shadow into the light for that very reason, because I want to focus on how we can transcend whatever's residual dark is still sitting within us. So to begin, we have the Page of Cups in reverse, along with the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles upright, and the Three of Wands upright. So in so many ways, we see that in your shadow, you're sitting in an emotional space. You are worried about the slowness of this new beginning. The Three of Wands is all about your ships coming in. And that, along with the Knight of Pentacles, is your ships taking forever to come in. In so many ways, you are feeling very impatient about this new solid beginning. You know that in love, you want something that is very real, and something that is very tangible, serious connection of a real partnership in that sense. So much that you've been willing to sit and wait for it, go through the slow process of it. But at this point, it's painful. You know, you feel like you've been waiting a long time. Some of you, even if you recently got out of connections, or if this is a connection that's already beginning, you're afraid of what you want, right? So it could be a new beginning between you and your current partner. A new beginning is in getting a new partner. Or if you recently got out of something, you're afraid of the fact that you're here in your singlehood and you don't know how long it's going to take in order for you to get what it is that you truly desire. This, along with the Page of Cups in reverse, you're lacking idealism, you're lacking optimism, you're feeling quite negative about it. You're feeling not in a deep sense of a true nightmare, but in the sense of just a sadness, a sadness, like a series of tears that come on our pillow at night, you know, that no one can hear, a more silent cry in that sense, of the aching heart that really wants to see forth this new beginning, and you've been willing to put in the work to refine it, and it's not here, or you're feeling like it's not going to happen. In your subject, we've got the Eight of Swords in upright. So that, number one, it's in your head. So this is self-imposed. The perception that you're having of all of it is self-imposed darkness. I hope you guys can see. I know that there's a bright light that is shining in this video. Yeah, we've got that bright light, but I think you guys can see the cards. But anyway, so it's self-imposed, so it's in your own head in terms of the fears that you're having. That, along with the Six of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles. So we're still in a space of building. We've got 6, 7, and 8. We've got, this is clarified by unconditional loving, giving, and receiving. So again, this unconditional, authentic love that you're looking for. Hold on a sec. This unconditional, authentic love that you're looking for. But you're feeling frustrated, you're lacking confidence, you're feeling like you don't deserve it, or like you can't get it, or it can't find you. There's a lot of insecurity going on here, and a lot of there's not such a deep sense of fear. It's just a lot of insecurity and uncertainty. And it seems like this prolonging, this waiting for these ships to come in, or waiting for this new beginning to find you, is putting you in a very insecure place, because you want this unconditional dynamic to play out, and you are putting all the energy that you need to be putting into to have it, but it feels like you're just in a waiting period. So all the insecurities that are mustering up, that are putting you in this Eight of Swords energy. But again, what does it mean to sail away from that Eight of Swords energy? What does it mean to put yourself in a space of healing? So in general, March, when it comes to healing, is healing. I was going to say when it comes to love, is healing. So March, when it comes to love, is healing. And for some reason, because healing rolled off my tongue, I feel like March is all about healing when it comes to love for you. So whether you are partnered, whether you are single, whether you are looking, there's a lot of healing when it comes to your love dynamics. And it is taking time, but it's about getting yourself out of this self-imposed space. You're moving and you're sailing away from whatever pain it is that found you, but you're still, you're on the right path. That's the thing. You're on the right path to where it is that you need to be, and where it is that you need to go when it comes to things like love, to build this unconditional giving and receiving dynamic that you're building. But it's human to feel insecure. It's human to go through this feeling like you're not going to necessarily get what it is that you want. And the more you have to wait, the more of an imbalance that it is causing. Hold on a second, guys. I want to make sure that we're good in terms of our lighting. We've got the sun here. Let me see if I can fix it. There we go. Sorry about that. So in terms of this dynamic, it's like we want to make sure that we can see through what it is that we truly want. And it is, again, not scary, but it's a slow pain in that sense. In terms of advice, we have going beyond normal and free from judgment, free to love. So we go back to that perspective of it's all about self-perception. You're feeling like in this weight, or the things that have taken place and you not being able to get what it is that you want is making you chip away at yourself, as if you're not good enough, as if you're the problem, as if not being able to get what it is that you want or see this new beginning is a direct reflection of your worth or your value, things that you're not doing right, efforts that you're not putting in. And it's causing you to kind of self-sabotage. So you have to step out of a space where that is your default mode, is to self-blame, take on too much responsibility. You're healing. You're healing and you're going through a change. You're on the right path with the Seven of Pentacles, but it just requires a little bit more work, because there's a little bit more that you need to understand in terms of this patience building. Telepathy of matter from Mater. So this is a water card for me. The pathway for spiritual fulfillment, in this case love fulfillment, and the sacral, funny how I said sacral, sacred manifestation of your purpose is not necessarily logical and will evolve organically. We go back to this process of going beyond normal. So we have this water card here talking about the fact that it's going to be different and it's going to be organic in its own way. And that's standing right next to my Aquarius card in terms of going beyond normal. And this is a water card for me, free from judgment, free from love, free to love. The skillful and unpredictable workings of the Earth Mother are supporting your soul journey unconditionally. Following up on inspired ideas and allowing for unexpected shifts in direction are integral to the manifestation of your soul purpose, or in this case, the love that you truly desire. Commit to an idea that feels good to your heart, even if it seems improbable or unattainable, it will manifest successfully. So we're going back to this space of this uncertainty. Can my relationship get to where it is that I want it to go? Can we heal the things that have happened up until this point? Can I get the relationship that I truly desire? Is this in fact possible? So it's letting go of the self-criticism that is happening because you don't have what it is that you want, and it's aligning with understanding that things are in the workings and they're happening as they are meant to be. You're still healing, so as you're continuing to heal, you're starting to realize that what it is that you may have thought you wanted in the past is actually changing. You're becoming the kind of person that needs to match with the energy that you truly deserve. Going back again to the Seven of Pentacles, it's in the workings and it's happening. It's all in your head in terms of the way you're kind of breaking yourself down because you don't have what it is that you want. Until in telepathy, again, we have 2 water cards here. In terms of you healing yourself through understanding, don't judge yourself through this process. Release that self-judgment. Don't be so hard on yourself. Great things take time to come together. And it can be very painful. And again, you're lacking optimism. You're lacking this hope that's starting to fade away from you because of these things. So here we have an earth card, which is the spirit owl. Recalibration to a higher order of divine purposes and progress. So again, we go back here. Recalibration, things playing out differently than you expected. You're still being refined. You're still changing. 7 of Pentacles, you're on the right path, but it still requires a little bit more work because you are changing. You are evolving. The patience is because you are recalibrating. You're becoming, and that's where the weight is. So it's separating from the ways in which you're judging yourself through this, because you're still healing, and as you continue to heal, you continue to refine, because this unconditional giving and receiving is what you want, but you have to align with being the kind of person that can receive that energy. Many of you are capable of giving it, but are you capable of understanding it in terms of receiving it? And in terms of those of you who are partnered, you guys are still in a space of healing with each other in order to get where it is that you want to go. Or you are still in a space of healing in order to be a better partner, to heal whatever dynamics have played out between 2 of you. Recalibration to a higher order of divine purposes and progress. It is not always a smooth ride, but it is safe to be fearless as you gently hold space for new ways of thinking, living, and seeing to emerge. You are encouraged to let go of opinions and belief systems that cannot support you in a higher frequency states, like hyper self-criticisms and feelings like you're not enough. You shall soon recognize a truth that cuts through any confusion and frees you to proceed with love, peace, and a higher understanding. And that soon recognition is being able to finally have what it is that you've desired up until this point. Finally getting to a place in your love life where it shows you that the hard work happened. You did not go through all of this for no reason. All of this clarity, all of this change, this transformation, the people that have left your life, they left it because you had to grow, you had to evolve. And as you're continuing to evolve and grow, no, it's not necessarily an easy process, but it's a becoming. It's a recalibration. You're taking a unique route. You're taking a different route, doing things differently than you've done before. You're becoming someone different than who it was that you were before. So through that recalibration, you're almost done in terms of your refinement in order to become the person that can connect with the truest love that you really desire, or getting to the place in you guys' relationship that is for the highest elevation and not what it is that it once was before. But it does require continued patience. You're on the right path, but you have to get out of this perception that you are not enough, or this feeling of insecurity, self-sabotage, lack of confidence, breaking down when it comes to the self. What is it that you guys can expect in love this month? Let's bring some of these. Actually, let's put some of these back into the deck. I want to do an expectation for those of you who are in new partnerships, those of you who are single, and those of you who are partnered. The Four of Wands found itself. So the Four of Wands came out. Alright, let's do singles, then we're going to do partnered, and we're going to do new. Alright, ready? Alright, we've got singles, partnered, new. Alright, so for my singles, there's a great wish fulfillment that is going to find you this month. Well, look at that. For my new, we've got the Seven of Wands in reverse, and for my partner, we got the Ace of Pentacles. So we'll start with the partnered, and we'll say that for you guys, you're still having to put in a lot of work this month in order to bring forth a new beginning for each other. It's not to say that you cannot get what it is that you desire, but you're still having to put in a lot of refinement in order to heal this relationship, to bring it to its highest elevation. So just continue, as we were mentioning before, continue to refine. You are on the right path, but you guys have to get out of each other's way in terms of the perception. You can bring forth what it is that you truly desire, but it just is requiring more work. So these are all about seeing through what you can expect when it comes to March. And for you guys, in the month of March, and it's not to say obviously April can be your new beginning, but in the month of March, it's still refining things, still healing things, still fixing things. For those of you who are in new partnerships until the end of March, we've got the Seven of Wands here. And for you guys, it's about this, definitely putting down these wands, putting down, I wanted to say these swords for some reason. You guys who are in new partnerships, there's been a lot of conflicts going on, a lot of imbalances, kind of trying to start things, not start things, trying to make it come forward, not making it come forward. There's an end to this kind of underground or undertoned battle that you guys have been going through. Some of you might see the end of new connections that you've been able to or been trying to form this month. But it's putting an end to this battle. So the good thing is, in this case, is ego comes to rest when it comes to new partnerships. You guys are having to put your egos aside. A lot of the battles that you've been going through with one another is ego, is what it means to have trust, not trust this person. I trust you, I don't trust you. I've been through a lot, and kind of carrying the weight of this old reality or old lives and kind of competing with each other. We're seeing the end of that throughout the end of March. You guys are having to break down this battlefield in order to connect and align with each other. So the remainder of the month is being about what does it mean to break down this, throughout the month of March, breaking down the battlefield between each other, cutting through the ego with one another. And for my singles, you get a wish fulfillment this month. So many of you can actually find yourself getting out of that energy with the Eight of Swords with a new person. And it can be that this new person could awaken your insecurities and awaken these feelings inside of you. This new person could also come in kind of slowly, and you want to kind of rush into it, but you don't really know what to do. You don't really know how to see it through. Or it can be that this new person doesn't show up until the end of the month in terms of those big karmic shifts. So finding you where you're kind of in a space of worry, and will you ever find what it is that you want? And then at the end of the month, this big surprise comes in, and this human that shows themselves, and this is this representation of this manifestation that you truly desired. You're getting your wish fulfillment. That is quite beautiful. Manifesting what it is that you've wanted. You've done all the work in order to get what it is that you want. And you've put the self-healing in order to get what it is that you want. So you're stepping out of your space of insecurity. Again, like I said, for many of you, it could be the lack of impatience in terms of what you guys are creating together, and the fear that you have toward that. Or it can just be an individual finding themselves nearing the end of the month and you kind of being in this energy until that point. But you being able to find what it is that you want. You're being recalibrated and it's showing up in a way that you didn't expect. So it can be a surprise person, meeting in a surprise way, in an unexpected manner, which can be quite interesting and can throw you for a loop, I will say. So that is your love reading. Okay, so I love you guys. Ciao.